Good morning, and thank you for tuning into the Andrew Tate Show, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We've got a great show for you guys today. We're going to be covering the Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott, LeBron James on Bronny's draft projection, Wendy's introducing price surging, and make sure you stick around for later in the show when we'll be diving into the oddities of the day. Before we start, I'd like to ask that you like and follow the show. We get a number of questions from the viewers that come in during the show, so to ensure that your question gets read on the air, I ask that you use the tips and donation link with your question. The tips and donation link is streamelements.com/gsmcsportsnetwork./tip. Let's put your question at the top of the list so that I can see it, and it also just really helps the show. Hello, Tate. How are you doing?
I'm okay. Yes.
Happy day after Tuesday.
Yeah. Happy day after Tuesday to you as well. It feels like that. It's just like
a little bit
trying to get into the groove of things so far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Very much like a hump day vibe for sure.
Yes. Happy hump day eve. No. Today is hump day. No, never mind. It's not hump day eve. Tuesday was hump day eve. when you're doing 7 days, when you're busy 7 days a week.
Oh no, I forget which day.
Oh my goodness, it is crazy how it is scheduled.
If I didn't have my planner, I don't think I would know what day of the week it is.
Here's the scary thing that happened day for yesterday. We decided to hey, why don't we just get out of here? Let's leave early. Mm-hmm. And so we're leaving early. And then Sarah brought to my attention, you understand, it's like 6:45 at nighttime. It's not leaving early.
Yeah.
You started at 7 a.m. and you're leaving at like 6:45. That is not leaving early.
No. You overdo the 9-to-5 job.
Yes. So it felt like we were cheating and kind of sneaking out early, and it was like, no, we still had a 12-hour day almost.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yep. All right. Well,
so what do you have for me today?
So, the Cowboys absolutely want to extend quarterback Dak Prescott. The Dallas Cowboys absolutely want to get a contract extension done with quarterback Dak Prescott. Cowboys Executive Vice President Stephen Jones said Tuesday during a news conference at the NFL Combine. Our whole thing with Dak is him being a Cowboy, Jones said. That's all that's on our mind. Prescott threw 4,516 yards and 36 touchdowns against 9 interceptions last season, his 8th with Dallas. The team went 12-5 and lost in the wild card round to the Green Bay Packers.
12-5. I got you. You 12-5. Like, what? Yeah,
12-5. Sorry.
Yeah, I got you covered.
Prescott, 30, signed a 4-year, $160 million contract with the Cowboys in 2021. Jones said Tuesday that the organization has not thought about life without Prescott. He also discussed the team's mentality ahead of the next season, because they're all in this year.
Faith is throwing shade on my poor little Cowboys.
You said it too, so.
It's kind of like, the reality. You don't really want to admit to reality. But,
yeah.
Okay. So, it's just mixed feelings with this one.
Why is that?
I think Dak Prescott is an incredible quarterback. I think he is a really good quarterback. Mm-hmm. But from everything I'm seeing, he wants $60+ million a year. He wants to reset the quarterback market. He wants to be the highest paid quarterback in NFL history. And when you look at the
you don't really feel like he should be the highest paid quarterback?
No, and he is a great quarterback. I thought he was a correction. He's a good quarterback. I don't like calling him a great quarterback. I think him and Kirk Cousins are just amazing Pro Bowl level quarterbacks. But I don't know about setting the market, putting 60, $65 million in for a quarterback like Dak Prescott. I've said this before. I would pay Patrick Mahomes anything he wanted.
Yeah.
He can have my first six kids.
I feel like he rightfully deserves, to be the most paid.
But you're talking about paying Dak $10 to $15 million more than Patrick Mahomes. And that just that doesn't sit well. Yes, the NFL salary cap went up. But the Cowboys have a lot of players they need to sign. Tyron Smith, CeeDee Lamb, Micah Parsons coming up. There is a lot of things that the Dallas Cowboys needs to sign. And it worries me if you're going to go all in on signing Dak, hence all in. And I think Dak deserves to be one of the highest paid quarterbacks. And I don't have a problem with paying Dak $50 million, but I would love to see Dak take a bit of a haircut this time. He doesn't, this whole concept of $60 million a year, $65 million a year, that's, the salary cap's going to be right about that $240 million. And you're saying that a quarter of that money is going to go to one 60 person.
Million?
Yes, and that's kind of what has been let out there. Dak has never mentioned a dollar figure, which is a smart thing for a quarterback to do. Listen, Dak does everything right. He does nothing wrong. He toes the company line. He wants to be a Cowboy. He doesn't speak on his contract. But I feel like if Dak wants to be considered one of the legendary Cowboy players, quarterbacks over the years, the Troy Aikman, the Roger Staubachs of the world, or he wants to be considered in the Patrick Mahomes world, there's a place for both of those. Dak has the ability to leave that hall of very good and go to the great. But he can't do it by himself. And when you're signing $60, $62, $65 million for a quarterback, that means, hey, you got to sign CeeDee Lamb. You're going to have to sign Micah Parsons. That means a lower level wide receiving core. I look at Kansas City, and Tyreek Hill is just an all-world wide receiver. But they had to sign Patrick Mahomes, and they signed Patrick Mahomes to that $500 million contract. But I always felt like the result of that contract meant they could not have Tyreek Hill and have them both. You couldn't have Kelsey, Tyreek Hill, and Patrick Mahomes all on that same team because of salary cap space. Well, I'm looking around and I'm saying, if you go to that $60 million, $65 million mark, what role players are you going to lose? Dallas needs to sign a running back. Well, instead of going after the Saquon Barkleys, the Travis Henrys of the world, you may have to draft maybe a lesser player. You can't go out and get keep that bring in like a number 2 wide receiver that really could bring you up to another level, or defensive lineman or offensive lineman. You're going to miss 1 or 2 people on your team when you sign that level of a contract. Dallas is right there. but it seems like every year they're just a little short. If Dallas would have had a running game, a solid running game, I think Dallas could have made it to the Super Bowl this year. But already, because of how much they've had to pay other players, maybe there wasn't enough money to go out and get a Derrick Henry. I said Travis and Derrick Henry, or to get a Saquon Barkley. That player that you're just one player. Dallas is literally just one player away. And when you are so cap strapped that you have to shop more in the bargain bin instead of doing what the 49ers are doing, which is just adding weapon after weapon after weapon. It's Jerry Jones has to keep up with the Jones, meaning you have to keep pace with the Philadelphia Eagles and the San Francisco 49ers. And as long as the 49ers, and their day is coming, because Brock Purdy is going to ask for that big contract as well. Mm-hmm. But right now, you have a quarterback in San Francisco that's getting less than $1 million a year. He had less than $1 million this year, and most likely less than $1 million next year. And you have a Dak Prescott who's looking at 60, 65 million with a 40, 50, $60 million signing bonus. That's a lot. You're talking about, let's say it's right at 60. You're saying 5 years, $300 million contract for Dak Prescott with another 50 to 70 million guaranteed. There is not a lot of room to sign other megastar players on a team. And don't think Micah Parsons coming in and going to give you a company discount. Don't think CeeDee Lamb's going to give you a company discount. You're going to have three guys that want to reset the market in the NFL. Dak wants to reset the market. CeeDee Lamb wants to be the highest paid wide receiver in the NFL, and Micah Parsons wants to be the highest paid defensive player in NFL history. You can't do that for everyone. Mm-hmm. Someone has to step back, and I've mentioned this before. The thing, Brady not only had a work ethic that was second to none. Brady wasn't just that quarterback that could be coached, and Belichick and the coaching staff could check him and make and say rough things to him without him being a prima donna, which helped the organization stay on track. But the most underrated thing that I felt like Tom Brady did was he was that guy that was willing to take that company discount. He didn't have to be the highest paid guy. Just keep him among the top guys. And that's what I'm saying with Dak. I'm not telling Dak that he needs to take, which sounds crazy, a $20 million a year contract. No, I'm saying get him at that 50. I've said that. If he can stay right around what he's making right now, which is one hell of a lot of money, he'd be one of the highest paid quarterbacks, but there's room to add more weapons to get him over that hump. If Dallas could add a few more weapons, then Dallas could be a serious Super Bowl contender. And they're already a Super Bowl contender. But when you look at them, Green Bay is getting better. Green Bay is definitely getting better. Detroit will be better. The 49ers, I was hoping that as a Cowboy fan, I was thinking the 49ers don't have enough salary to go around for everyone. I thought they were going to run into trouble. But then when the new salary came out and it went out to where it went to, I think 240, 250, it made it so that not only now could they sign their guys, they have enough room to sign their guys, but they may be able to bring in another piece or two, which makes San Francisco even stronger. So, and then you have the Cowboys where, there's no one really resetting the market in San Francisco. And you have three guys that are going to set blockbuster contracts in the next 2 years. It's a recipe for disaster, especially if you're trying to keep up and try to contend for the Super Bowl. And you look at, no one thinks about the Commanders. I think Commanders are going to shock so many people because they have a lot of salary cap room. They have a lot of talented players. That could be the team that no one's looking at that could all of a sudden start contending as well. You have to keep pace at this point. And the fact that they're not even thinking about life after Dak, uh, I don't know how wise that is. I would, if Dak is asking for 60, 65, I would rather see Dallas kind of take a step back and say, we're going to play this year out and we'll see what happens after this year.
So you don't
So,
think Dak Prescott would be okay not making 60,000?
no,
60
well,
million, sorry.
the Dak is, from everything, this is all speculation. Everything we've been talking about, everything that's in the news, no matter what network you watch, it's all speculation, kind of leaked information here and there. But one consistent thing that has come out is Dak wants to reset the quarterback market. Dak wants that 60 plus million. And that is, I don't know if that's, I don't think it's a smart move for the Cowboys. They went out and traded for Trey Lance with the San Francisco 49ers. Man, I would be taking a serious look at Trey Lance. I would kind of push this thing along, see where things are at. But before I make that move, you're talking about Hall of Fame level money for a very good quarterback, but not Hall of Fame quarterback play. He could get, do I think Dak can get to the Hall of Fame level quarterback? I do, if you give him the right weapons. But you can't have be the highest paid quarterback in the NFL and say, you want all these weapons. You look at the Kansas City Chiefs, their receiving core was below average, in my opinion. But Patrick Mahomes was able to win a Super Bowl with lesser talented wide receivers around him and aging tight end. Dak has maybe one of the 3 or 4 best wide receivers in the NFL, Cook and those guys. He has a talented receiving core. What happens when they sign him and maybe they can't keep some of these guys? What happens then? Where will Dallas fall to?
I think it's time for people to swivel around and look at all the other stuff that's going on other teams. And
man, because I hate talking about a player trying to get the bag and trying to get their money. That's an ugly situation to be talking about another person getting paid. I'm all for Dak being paid. It's just a matter of
trying to build a team with
right. A lot of times you can't have everything. Listen, I want a Ferrari. And I want the house. I want the big giant house with the pool. I want a private jet. I want this, and this. But then it's like, hey, you don't have all of that. Maybe the private jet and the house goes away, but you're sleeping in your Ferrari.
Not buying groceries for a year.
Yes. You cannot be driving a Ferrari and eating top ramen noodles.
I feel like this is you can't have your cake and eat it too type of situation.
And see, I think Dak is having he can have his cake, he can eat it too. He may can have ice cream too, but you're not gonna get the sprinkles.
No sprinkles.
There's no chocolate fudge on top of that ice cream. That's the thing. What takes you to the next level is the fact that the 49ers already they got the cake, the ice cream, they got sprinkles, they got caramel, they got fudge on top of that, they got potato chips. They already got it all. You know what I mean?
It's like an elementary school party.
Yes. You know what I mean? You gotta be able to, you gotta keep up. And I think if you do this, if Dak is your top priority and you're gonna pay this kind of money for Dak, who are we losing?
Right.
Where are we gonna suffer? Are we gonna suffer on defense? Are we gonna have to trade one of our big pieces away? Are we gonna just say maybe we can't sign CeeDee Lamb to that blockbuster contract that he wants? If it comes down to that, man, I feel like Dak is that Pro Bowl level quarterback that you could live without. Life after Dak is possible. I'm not saying he's a scrub. I'm saying Dak is a top 10 quarterback.
Yeah.
He is a Pro Bowl MVP caliber quarterback, but at what cost? That's my concern.
Well, I guess when is his contract up?
Well,
or is it
he's on his
it?
Well, no, yeah, he's on his last. This coming season is the last year on his contract. But his agent was able to negotiate, you can't franchise tag him, so you can't just, franchise tag him and keep him another year. There's a no trade clause, so you can't trade him either. So it's either you pay Dak or Dak walks away. And there's nothing in between. Dak holds all the cards. And I think that's the biggest mistake of them all, is putting all the power in Dak's hands. This next contract, I would never do that. I would never do that. You have to be able to have the right to franchise him and possibly trade him. Giving him both of them just put them in a rock and a hard place. So
yeah. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see what's gonna happen.
It'll be interesting. And that, it's the Cowboys, so it's going to be top story.
Yeah.
You're going to hear about this on all the different networks, on all the shows. You're going to hear about it at GSMC, ESPN, Fox, The Athletic, and everything else in between is going to be talking about this throughout the year.
Yep.
So.
Alrighty, guys. Well, with that, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about LeBron.
Whoa,
LeBron James on Bronny's draft projection. I was reading LeBron and James at the same time in my head.
Listen, we all understand those tongue twisters, so I don't have to. Yes, it's the day after Tuesday, okay? It's perfectly acceptable.
Yeah. All right, guys, we'll be back.